Welcome Visionscape users to another Landscape Studio 7 tutorial. Today we're going to review the display setting features in the software, also performance settings. Let's begin by opening our virtual property here. I already have a scene created that I've been working on. This is going to be a great example. It's a fairly large scene with pretty extensive plant list and hardscape and some landscape. So what's great about properties like this is that I've been working in a medium quality. Now why this really is important is because it helps the efficiency in designing and the frame rates per second on your computer while you're designing and you're creating your scene and you're placing your plants. You don't always have to be in a high quality while you're doing that. Those types of graphics and quality is great for presentations, but while you're building and creating these scenes, you don't always have to do that. So as you can see, I'm going to right click on perspective, and I am in a medium quality. It's checked off. You also have low and high quality, and you can customize your quality as well. So I've saved this into medium quality because it still offers good graphics and things like that, but it also is a little bit faster and less stress on my computer. So let's right off the bat, let's go into customize quality here. So the performance and settings window opens up. Now it's a great note to remember that you can move this window after you've opened it, and you can still orbit and pan inside your scene you've created. And this is good, so when you're adjusting settings and things like that, you can see exactly what's happening while the scene is open, which is great. So let's begin with showing you the settings that I like to use. So I'm in medium quality here, and you can see my frame rates per second is pretty high, which is that's what you want. And I've turned off high quality night lighting, shadows, and wind, again just to increase my speed. So as you can see, I'll turn high quality night lighting on, show shadows which appear into my scene, and wind. And you can see how my frame rates per second has already dropped, but the quality has gone up. So again, I'm going to click those off. Image quality, so your texture and your anti-aliasing. You can increase and decrease these by simply moving to maximum and minimum. And your plant settings is really important as well, especially when you're working on a large plant list. So transparency, minimum and maximum. You can see how this changes, and my models become thinner and then thicker. How this basically helps is when you're orbiting around, there's less detail. By clicking override level of detail, you can now adjust the detail distance, which is minimum, maximum, and your billboard distance again, which is a really great feature. So in my scene here, watch as I adjust the billboard distance to maximum. Means that when I zoom out, I can see all of my plants, including my forest edge and my foundation planting. When I go to minimum, you can see how most of these plants have disappeared. Now why that's great is because when I'm working in a certain area here, like my foundation planting, I don't need my backyard planting, I don't need my forest edge, because it's not important to me right now. I'm just trying to create my virtual property, right? So as you can see, if I zoom to my foundation planting, well, they reappear. And they do that because now I'm focused on this one area, and you can note that they still have disappeared in the background. Again, great for performance. We can leave that sort of in the middle of the road. Now after you do in settings that you like, you can also restore to medium quality defaults. So notice my lights went on, my shadows went on, just in case you want to get those back. And if not, you can save settings and close the window. So let's quickly see now what happens when we go to a high quality setting. And just to show you again, as you can see how fluid rotating my property is right now. Let's see why. Well, my frame rates per second is really great right now. So let's quickly just demonstrate what happens when I go to high quality, restore high quality defaults. which we have right now. And now you can really see how things are already starting to slow down immensely. So again, this is just going to help when I'm designing and creating my virtual property. I don't always have to be in a high quality. I can simply go back to my medium quality, it changes instantly, and look at how much more smooth. I'm sure you've experienced this before. So another feature are the background settings, show sky and show terrain. Let's orbit to a place. Well, let's do this. Let's also billboard distance. Let's change it to minimum so I don't have to see my forest edge and things like that. So let's show sky. Now you can see that my sky has turned gray. And why this is just basically for presentation purposes. It also helps your frame rates per second. And you can also show your terrain. You can see my lawn has disappeared, except for, of course, my hardscapes and my plant beds, which I've created. And again, you can go to a different color. You can make it sky and show terrain, things like that. So let's now review the last feature here. And let's right-click on our perspective and go into custom quality. Let's turn our transparency back to minimum so we can see all our plants. But let's, for instance, keep our billboard distance to a minimum, and let's also go into, say, a lower quality here. So as you can see, when I switch the tab, I do have to again adjust the settings to where I want. So the minimum, billboard, and so we're in a low quality here. Now, say you're creating your virtual property here, and you want to upload a virtual property screenshot. And say you forget that you have certain settings on. Well, it will always default when you create a screenshot to a higher quality setting and where your plants will be in the scene. So let's try this now. Let's close out our window here. Let's go back to, say, medium quality. So our background is gone here. Let's close. Create screenshot. Upload to virtual property. We're also going to save to our desktop so we know where it is. Test 1. Save. Next, screenshot name. Call it test 1. You can add description if you like. Create screenshot. As you can see just from the preview, my forest edge is in, as well as some of my driveway trees, which you couldn't see before. Okay, let's go ahead and check that by clicking on a virtual property online. Take us to our virtual property. Let's refresh this. You can see we've added test 1 and all of our screenshots and all of our forest edges in. So I hope these display settings really help you in your new ventures in creating your virtual properties. Stay tuned for another tutorial. Thanks.